And we are live. Welcome to another Super Galactic Saturday. I'm Jerry Sr. with Jerry Jr.
Good morning.
And we're here on another beautiful Saturday morning. It's cold here in sunny California. It's definitely a winter for us. And it's been raining. It's been a rainy week. Our Christmas was a bit rainy, but it was a good
Tony, and
Christmas.
Tony lied to you.
Yeah, they did. They lied big time. It does, in fact, rain in Southern California. And it rains a lot, and it's needed. So I'm thankful for it. And as they say, any day above ground is a good day, and today is definitely a good day. So we thank you for joining us. Thanks for coming out and giving us your support and your time and attention. And I hope you can join the conversation with us, and as we talk about some of these things, and just have fun having a conversation. And we thanks for your support. And yeah, there's a few things we wanted to talk about today. Um, Number one is, I guess, the buzz all around is the Doomsday Avengers Doomsday trailer. They dropped a teaser featuring Captain America, and basically
What?
saying that he will return. At least, and to be
Oh
well,
my gosh.
I'm gonna let you guys watch it first, and then we talk about it.
You've
But I
got to
thought
be
it was kind of
kidding me.
interesting because there's been a lot of controversy with the old Captain America passing on the mantle to the new Captain America, and a lot of people did not like the new Captain America, specifically the movie. The series was, okay, although it wasn't great. It was acceptable, I suppose. Then the movie was worse. So, and I actually watched the movie. I took the time to watch it at home, and yeah, because I like to watch some of this stuff on my own without and not rely solely on critics, right? Like YouTube critics or movie critics. You gotta kind of know for yourself, right? So I thought, well, let me watch it and see, because you never know. And I've had experiences where a movie got a bad review, and then I watch it and I go, oh, that actually wasn't so bad. I actually enjoyed it. I was
Yeah, but
entertained.
this is a Marvel movie,
So,
so
well, that aside, I mean, it is possible. Like the Wonder Woman 1984 is objectively a bad movie, but I watched it and I actually enjoyed it. I was entertained by it, even though I know it's a bad movie. But for some reason, I don't mind it being so bad. I guess I didn't take it too seriously or whatever, but I found it entertaining. So it was fun watching Wonder Woman be Wonder Woman. And in that movie, she did a lot of action. She even flew. I was like, okay, that's cool. I mean, so, but of course, yeah, it kind of bombed. It didn't do well because it's not a good movie. I mean, and I objectively know that. But when you suspend reality watching it, I don't care. I'm like, oh, this is fun. It's fun to watch. And that was true with the Flash movie. Believe it or not, that the last Flash movie they did, um, it's it's a mixed bag for sure. I didn't like Ezra Miller as Flash. I still don't. Um, and I always thought he was a terrible casting for the Flash. But I watched the movie and I thought, you know what? This isn't a terrible movie. It's actually pretty decent watch, right? It was entertaining. The ending was kind of dumb with the whole montage of all the different heroes. It made no sense because he's traveling through his timeline. So why would Superman matter or anybody else? So that part was kind of
I
dumb.
mean, they just wanted the excuse to,
Yeah,
show
right. Like
Nicolas Cage as
member
Superman.
member berries. Yeah, like who cares, right? Like I don't know. In a different context, it would have been kind of awesome, but you know, that's neither here nor there. Overall, though, the movie was a good watch. It actually wasn't a bad story. Um, so sometimes you can be surprised, and you'll watch a movie that had bad reviews, and then you'll go, oh, that wasn't so bad, or I did like it, or the reviews were right, but I still enjoyed it for some reason, right? All that is possible. So, and
I
for me,
mean,
that was the
yeah, I
case.
guess.
So who knows? With some of this stuff, But here's Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer. Let's see what we're gonna get.
Ah,
multiverse. So I'm just saying, we can assume all we want, but see, so it says Steve Rogers will return, not Captain America. So that I think that's important to note. So next year, it was what, a year to go. So yeah, that's a great
that's
teaser.
it.
Yeah, that's it. It's a teaser. It's I mean we're a year away from the movie, so they're not gonna drop a full blown trailer. They're probably not
Okay.
even done shooting the movie. So, um, but we got Cap on his motorcycle, pulls up to Peggy's house. So this is obviously after Endgame, where he goes back in time to return the stones, and maybe he decided, he made a pit stop to Peggy, and they ended up getting married and all that stuff, and had a whole life together, right? And hence we got Old Man Cap passing on the shield to Falcon, right? And it's like, okay, um, so this is the what happened in that space of time, right? And you know, that's cool. And they imply he has a baby. Like I said, I wonder, and this is why I say that because remember in Winter Soldier where
Yeah.
he visited Peggy in the hospital, she had Alzheimer's, right? And but not even there. It's the part where he's watching the old footage, right? Old war footage, and he's looking at Peggy, and then they talk about how she went on to do all these things, and she ended up getting married, right? So we know that absent of Steve Rogers, she got married and had her own family, right?
Right, but he obviously would have went back in time to the point where she didn't get married.
Well, that's what you think.
That wouldn't make any sense if he just showed up while she was already married.
Well, what if her husband was killed and she's a widow?
That sounds
I'm just saying,
sounds
like,
too complicated.
it's not too complicated. It's a story. Stories have complications. That's what makes it a story. When you write a story, and the whole point is to have complications.
I
That's
know,
what
but I
makes
don't
it a
think that
story worth telling.
I
You
don't
don't
think
tell a
they're
story
gonna
about,
think
well,
that.
here's this guy, and he kind of married this woman, and they just lived
I know.
their
I'm
life for
saying I
90
don't think
years
they
like a
thought
pair.
that far ahead about it. That's all I'm saying.
Who? The,
The,
the writers of Marvel?
yeah.
Right, so they're doing a multiverse storyline, and you don't think they think about things like this?
No, because I don't think about a lot of things,
Well,
Dan. You
well,
know
that's
this.
true. That's true, but that doesn't mean they didn't think about this. So, my whole point is that we can assume that's his baby, but it may not be literally his baby. It could be Peggy's, former husband, you know, and he passes away and he takes on the responsibility. Who knows, right? We saw that with Thor. That's and I think Love and Thunder. He takes care of. I forgot the villain's name, but he takes care of his daughter, right? And you know that's not his kid, but yet he's gonna take care of her like it is his kid. So do you understand? So you know that's definitely
Uh,
a possibility. So I'm not gonna assume and conclude this is Cap's son. It could be Peggy's son or Peggy's kid. I don't know if it's a boy. I'm assuming it's a boy, but but either way, it's clear he's taking a responsibility with this kid. He's taking care of the kid somehow.
I
So
mean,
that's the
honestly, either
implication.
way, this all this really makes me think about is how this gives me the impression that they know that people don't like uh, Falcon as Captain America, so they're gonna find a way to bring back Steve Rogers into the picture
Well,
to make him
yeah,
Captain
that's
America again.
that's true. I think that's definitely true. They know a lot of fans didn't really care for the new Captain America, right? That's true. Um, and I'll be honest, I'm one of those fans. I like Falcon. I don't like Falcon Captain America. So I
Yeah.
liked Falcon, and I wanted more. I wish they had not done this whole mantle thing. I think it's stupid. Certain heroes aren't a mantle, right? They are who they are, and that's that. Right? Now you can have others come in their steed, right? Like if a hero dies or gets killed off for whatever reason, like Superman was killed. He's been killed a few times now, right? The death of Superman. Well, if we actually did it proper and he dies at the hands of Doomsday or whatever, well, if he has a son, right, then his son can take on being Superman, right? That's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
that's different than some
right?
random Joe Schmo
Yeah, that's my
becoming
point.
Superman.
Right? It's like make it where it makes sense and it makes story sense, right? Don't just randomly pick like the Riri Williams thing. It's like what that whole
I mean,
thing
that
makes no
was
sense whatsoever. It's like at least build up something
there's a lot. There's a lot
in
wrong with Riri
universe. Like
Williams
like the
stuff.
way I imagine it, reimagine it is, what if okay, it's Riri Williams, fine, but at least let's establish some connection to Tony Stark early on, like in Iron Man 3 where he meets the young boy, right?
Yeah,
Well, what if you switch that and it's Riri Williams as a little girl, an aspiring engineer, right? And that's where they first meet up, and she helps in some way, and you understand. At least now you establish some kind of connection between the characters, so that it makes sense that later on, she takes on the mantle of Iron Man, right, as Ironheart. It's kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, he was a mentor. He inspired her, right? You follow what I'm saying? Like, and they could have worked that in with, and for the record, yes, I have thought this through because it frustrates the hell out of me, you know. But like when they did Civil War, right? And they had you remember the mom approached them at the beginning, and she's like, "My son was killed in the whole debacle with Black Widow, right?
yeah,
Not Black Widow. I'm sorry.
yeah. Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch. Thank you. And all that stuff. Like, what if that was Riri's brother, and he had he was a little sister. You understand? Like, and then now you have a connection to Iron Man proper in a very dramatic and meaningful way, right? Because that led to him, siding with the government and everything, and doing the accords, right? That led to the whole conflict, right? Tony Stark was on what we saw as the wrong side, right? But yet he was motivated by that mom and the death of her son.
Yeah, he had good intentions.
Yeah, good intentions, exactly. Same
That's what
with
made it
Ultron.
compelling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same with Ultron and all that, right? So it's like, what if they set that up already with Reed Williams at that point, so that now when you have Endgame, right, and he snaps the finger and all this stuff, and now you're introducing Ironheart. Now fans are gonna go, oh yeah, that's right, that was the little girl and this and that, and they had this rapport and relationship, and he mentored her and taught her everything he knew, and she was gifted and all that. Everyone would go, "Oh, this is awesome," right? Because it's been set up. Now this is a payoff for that setup, right? So now it's not really a mantle per se. It's like her carrying on the legacy, right? That's a very different thing than a mantle, so to speak, right? And I think that's why the series was so roundly rejected, because it's vapid. And a lot of people, especially some black people, they get upset and they relegate it to racism. And I'm like, well, I'm sure there's, you know, out of the billions of fans on the globe right now of the MCU, there's a handful of racists, right? That have, they have keyboard, they're keyboard warriors, right?
yeah,
So they're gonna troll and all, but it's like that's not the majority, right? The majority of people are looking at this and going like, this. I don't feel anything with this. This is vapid. This is empty. It's race baiting and it's race swapping, and zero normal people like that, period. Like, whether you're black, Asian, white, you don't like it, right? Because you
yeah,
understand that it's insulting, right? And it's like, why, and especially when there's legitimate characters, regardless of their origins, right? Like T'Challa and etc., or She-Hulk, or that were put out there. And like I always think about Cyborg, the DC side, like totally mishandled, one of the most popular DC characters in the modern times, right? The last, what, probably 30 years, right?
yeah,
Teen Titans, all that good stuff. So how many iterations of Teen Titans do we have, right? Clearly, he's an incredibly popular character, but yet they still treat him as this, I don't know, third ringer, or, nothing character. I mean, why doesn't he have a movie yet, right? Why don't we have a Teen Titans movie, right? Like, it's like it's
yeah.
so frustrating, right? And and that's but then they'll ignore that. They'll ignore John Stewart's Green Lantern, right? They'll ignore him, at least until recently, right? And they'll race swap Tony Stark. They'll race swap, all these other characters, or gender swap. And it's like, yo, that's just lazy. And people know it. They pick up on it, and they don't like it. And that's why these movies, this previous phase of Marvel movies, for the most part, have been flops. Nobody likes them because they're lazy. They are. They're just lazy, right? So yeah, frankly, I'm tired of it, and I think most people are. So, but looking at this, yeah, there's gonna be some hype if Steve Rogers return, and listen, he's gonna be Captain America.
Yeah,
Period. Like he's Captain America. He always has been. He always will be. Right. No matter how you want to rationalize and say, well, in the comics, and blah, there was this guy. Yeah, it's like none of that matters.
just because it
We're
happens in the comics doesn't mean it was a
right.
good idea.
We're talking about MCU proper. Steve Rogers is Captain America, right? And until you do it proper, like in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, they passed it on to I always forget his name, and I apologize.
Come on,
Um,
Bucky.
no, 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 to the new Captain America. Remember, I just can't remember his name. He
Oh,
was the
in
new
the
Captain
show,
America.
in the
Yeah, in the
show.
show, in the show,
Yeah,
right?
I know who
And
you're
it was
talking about.
yeah, and all they
Yeah, they
did,
tried to paint him as the villain. Yeah,
yeah, they all they did was undermine him and paint him as a villain.
it's so
And
weird
it's like,
because when you
yo,
watch the show, he's not really a
he's not
bad guy.
like
And what's so ironic, right? What's so ironic about this is that Falcon he was a military like therapist person, right?
yeah, that's
Like
right. Yeah, he did like
he
counseling, like
yeah,
veterans
for
counseling. Yeah,
veterans.
yeah, that's right.
So he should be the one person trying to get on this guy's good side, and he's actively
Yeah, just
being
agitating.
a
Yeah,
jerk. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And it's like, why? Why? Like,
it's
because
so stupid.
the worst you can say about him was maybe he's a bit arrogant, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, he's a kind of cocky
Yeah,
dude.
but
He's
so
arrogant.
what? He's an
Yeah, exactly.
army
So
guy.
what? He's still patriotic. He still wanted to fight. Represent his country, fight for his country. It's like, why is that like a terrible thing, right? Like, if anything, that should have been just a dynamic for them to have mutual respect. Where what I mean, like over the course of the adventure, they earn each other's respect, right? It's like, okay, bro, like I see we're on the same page when it comes to this, right? Like that would have been great, And I think I talked about that before, where it should have been, instead of undermining him, they should have painted him as a true patriot, and where it's just about
Right, but
it's a similar
patriotism is
it's a
evil, so
similar
they're not going to do that.
it's a buddy cop thing where they already did it with him and Bucky a bit, right? So now it's like him and the new Cap, and it's like it's not about Falcon becoming Captain America. It's really about just continuing the legacy that
Right, but
Steve
Dad, the
Rogers
people
started.
writing the story don't believe in patriotism, so they're not
Yeah,
going to do that.
they don't. I agree. I don't. I honestly believe this, and I've said this before, that the people writing some of these movies and TV shows hate superheroes. They really don't like
Well, they
superheroes.
don't
They
just
don't.
hate superheroes; they hate anything that's good.
Yeah, anything that is objectively good and pure, and patriotic, uh, just goodness, heroics. Heroics aren't heroics anymore. They're just like, well, I got to do it because no one else will. And it's like, well, that's not really heroics, right? Heroics is doing it even if someone else can, right? You're doing it because you're there, right? And you know it needs to be done, so you do it, right? It's not about like, well, there's no one else here, so I guess I got to do it. Like, and that's kind of seems to be the general sentiment, And it is annoying and frustrating. So, but here, I don't know. A lot of people are painting this as Marvel's attempt at getting back on track. Self-correcting, all this kind of stuff, starting over. I honestly don't believe that. I don't think they're going to self-correct, even if this
No.
movie or this series is good, right? I really don't think that's what's going to happen because at the end of the day, they're going to always interject some nonsense in there somewhere. Like they're going to do it. Like it's inevitable. Like they're going to inject, what we've coined as woke or whatever, right? They're going to inject it, and it's going to be ham-fisted. Like it's not even going to be subtle, and that's what makes it problematic. It's not even that it's there; it's that it's not even subtle. It's not even integrated into the story or character development in a way that is appealing, right? Where you're like, okay, it's there, but I don't care because the story's awesome, right? The character's great, they, they won't do that. They're going to just give us slop, right? It's like people love dogging on AI art and all that stuff. That's slop, but I'm like, we've been getting slop, right? And it's not AI. It's made by people, and we've been getting slop from these people, right? From these writers and directors over the course of the last couple of decades, right? So we've already had slop. So I don't. That's why I don't have a problem with AI. It's like, yeah, there's always going to be good and bad, right? There's good movies, there's bad movies made by humans, and there's good AI, art and bad AI art, right? So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. But this is interesting. I think this will excite some fans, but I think more so than anything, they'll be cautious, right? I think a lot of fans will look at this and go, okay, I like that Steve Rogers is coming back. I hope he's going to be Cap, but I'm going to reserve my excitement, until I see more, right? Until I know more, until more is confirmed. And I better hear nothing but good, right? I don't want to hear about, you know, I don't want to hear about current day politics and all this other nonsense, right? I don't. I want to hear good movie, good story, good casting, all that stuff. I want to be entertained, right? So we'll see. We already know that Robert Downey Jr. is going to return as Doctor Doom, and I believe it's based on a run where Tony Stark does become Doctor Doom somehow, right? So in a particular multiverse, parallel universe or whatever. So that should be interesting. That should be fascinating. Um, so I'm hopeful in that maybe it will be good. Maybe it will be a fascinating run, and we'll get something close to what we got in the first couple of phases of Marvel, right? The early MCU, and that's what a lot of fans want. They want to kind of return back to that. And also, this apparently picks up right after Endgame, so it has to do with the snap and how it affected the multiverse. It ties into the Loki show, which I watched some of it, but I don't know. I didn't care for
I
it.
never
A lot of people
care.
liked it,
I didn't watch it.
so I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and finish it at least. But I didn't care for it after like I don't know, like half of the first season. I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not really not interested in this. Um, but who knows? Maybe it's like I said. I've heard people say it was pretty decent. Um, so yeah, maybe I'll revisit that. But yeah, Captain America, Brave New World is terrible. It's a terrible movie. I watched it and I was not entertained by it at all. It's really an awful movie and it should not exist. And that's not because of any of the actors. It's just a terrible story. It really is. It's a convoluted story.
Yeah.
And it's convoluted because they've tried to force a new continuity into it with Betty Ross and General Ross and all that, um, which I understand. But I guess they couldn't get the original actress.
Well, what's
You know.
silly about it is that they keep trying to. They keep. You're talking about the Falcon, the Brave New World, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Is that it's like why are they using Hulk? Why are they using Hulk's villain for quote unquote Captain America, right?
yeah. I
It's
don't
like
get the matchup either. Why would you pit a Hulk against Captain America? That seems a bit silly. I
because well,
mean,
both Red Hulk and the uh, the big brain guy, they're both Hulk villains,
yeah, no,
and
that's what I mean.
so it's like
Yeah, it's
it's
like
unsatisfying because we don't get why we could have got why didn't we get
why
the
didn't we
Hulk
have the Hulk? Yeah, why wasn't the
fighting these
Hulk in the
people?
movie?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that have made sense? Like the Hulk is there to fight the Red Hulk. That would have been a better movie for sure. Just that alone. Just regardless of the story, you just have where Bruce Banner is around, the Red Hulk appears, and he springs into action. Right?
Yeah.
That would have made the movie 10 times better, right? And the Red Hulk, Green Hulk, they fight, and he takes him down, right? That would have been great, but that's not what we got. Um, I don't know what we. It made no sense. It's like, is Falcon a super soldier or not? You know, he's doing super soldier things that a regular human probably would be dead, right? Like at the beginning when he makes that landing, his legs should be broken, right? You're not making a superhero landing at however many miles per hour, you know, and you're fine, right? Like, you're not doing that. Captain America, maybe, right? He dived out of a
Yeah.
plane into the ocean with no parachute, right?
Yeah, because he's Captain
that,
America.
right, but that's my point. That was the point of that, right? To show, like, yeah, that's Captain America. Like, this dude is like ultimate, super athlete, right? Like, he can do these things. And this is the thing. These were soldiers, right? Remember Winter Soldier? They're like looking like, did he just jump out of here without a parachute? And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. Like, these are trained soldiers, right? Elite soldiers looking at Cap going, yo, what? Right? So how is, Falcon able to do the equivalent of that? It, without the super, that makes no sense, man. Like, it's just like the Black Widow movie. That was just a bag of nonsense also, right? It was like, is she a super soldier or not? She's surviving falls from like the 30th floor of a building and, just getting up and dusting herself off. Like, what? Like, it makes no sense, man. Like, you know, Marvel. I don't know. Yeah, these writers, man. Like, it's
They
clear
don't
that
care.
they
They
don't
don't care.
care. They don't understand just the logic of superheroes, and it's so irritating. You know, I don't know, but and the solutions are simple. It's like, I don't know, just have him drink the super serum, and now that explains everything. He can survive flying at huge heights, with winds resistance, and all he has on is a helmet. Like, okay, you know, I mean, I know he has the suit from Wakanda, but I don't know. Is it Does it make him bionic? I don't know. None of that was answered really, right?
Yeah.
All we know is he's got super wings and a drone. You know, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, none of it makes any sense. So, and they don't bother to explain it either. So it'd be nice to see Captain America proper return. Like I said, I don't have a problem with him giving them the shield, like for safekeeping, that kind of thing. Even to use it as Falcon. Just, you're not Captain America. You're Falcon. That's it. You're Falcon using Cap's shield, right? That's what it should have been, versus trying to make him into Captain America. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not rational. So, but this is Disney Marvel, so the concept of rational doesn't really exist anymore. It's
Well,
just a lot of hodgepodge of nonsense. So
well, let us know what you guys think about the trailer. Are you excited for the movie? Are you disappointed? Let us know in the comments below.
yeah, are you excited to see Steve Rogers return? And do you want him to be Captain America? Like, permanent?
I don't really care. They finished this arc already. Just be done with it. That's really all.
Well, that goes into another idea. It's another sentiment, which I think is growing among even the more hardcore fans, and that is, just end it already. Like these series and phases or whatever. It's like, just end it. Be done. Like Endgame should have been Endgame. That's it, and that's the end of that. That whole thing is done, and then you start over, maybe with the same characters. Maybe you add new characters, right? Or maybe you just focus on X-Men now, and everything centers around X-Men, and that's all you do is X-Men movies for the next 10 years. That would have been fine, you know. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, just end it. Like, why are we still rehashing, and I know a big part of it is money grab, right? Like, it's like people like Robert Downey Jr., people like I'm trying to think of his last name, Chris.
Oh, Chris Evans.
Evans, yeah, thank you, Evans. I know he's one of the Chris's, right? Chris
Yeah, Chris
Hemsworth,
Hemsworth, Chris
Chris Hemsworth,
Evans.
and Chris Evans, Chris Pine. You know, there's a lot of Chris's, but
Yeah.
you know, we love Chris Evans as Captain America. Like you know what I mean. So it's like we do want more, which is I think it's fine. I don't think fans are wrong for more wanting more of what worked, right? And it's like, okay, give us more of what worked, but do they really understand what worked? I think the problem with Hollywood proper is they learn the wrong lessons. You know, when they see success in a franchise, they learn the wrong lessons from that ultimately, and they veer off into the ditch, right? You know what I mean? Like
Well, you know
end
what's
up in left
funny?
field.
I'm reminded of Dragon Ball because back when Dragon Ball Z first ended, because it's Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z is ended off pretty much where the manga ends off because the manga finishes with Goku going off to train, a new martial artist, and I guess people wanted more Dragon Ball the anime, and so that's why they made GT. But GT wasn't as well received by people as Z was for various reasons. Although, I mean, in hindsight, a lot of people still look fondly at a lot of aspects of GT.
Yeah,
But GT was totally original. It wasn't based off of anything from the manga. It was all anime original stuff. But but after GT, Toriyama kind of I don't know if it was because of the fan backlash or whatever, but Tori like after GT there wasn't any Dragon Ball new Dragon Ball anime for a good few decades, right?
yeah, right.
It took what's it called? It took the remember the American Dragon Ball movie,
Yeah,
that one, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it took that for Toriyama to come out of retirement because he didn't want that to be the last thing people remember about Dragon Ball. So he was like, okay. So I think that I think, and even though people like Super, people like Daima, but I think it's because uh, there was a good time gap between you know GT and Super, right? It's good
Right,
10, 15, 20 years. So people were a lot more um, they were a lot more willing to get more new Dragon Ball stuff, especially after the movie, right? But I think with the Marvel movies, it's like I mean, you mentioned it earlier. It's like there's no time buffer. We're just getting a whole bunch of movies with no breathing room,
right.
and it's like you'll. If, I feel like they would make more money if they simply just took the time to actually like craft a good story, right? And like but it's like people don't. I mean, you already said it. They just want money, but I don't see how any of these movies are making like they can't be making a return on investment, right?
They're
With
not. They're
all
not.
the
They're at best. They're well. I wouldn't say they're breaking even at this point. But what happens is a lot of this is financed by debt, and so they're just refinancing debt on the back end, right? They're writing off expenses on taxes to get tax breaks. You know, there's probably tax subsidies for certain things that they do when they release in certain markets. It's a whole, it's a whole thing, like it's a whole bureaucratic thing. That's part of the reason why they can keep going, because it's almost like the more they spend, um, the the healthier they look as a business, right? And the more able they are to keep going, right, as a business, right? Because it's like margins, like marginal profits, and in secondary markets, tertiary market, like it's a whole thing, right? Like we're looking at box office numbers, right? And we're going, oh, that movie flopped. It only made 300 million or so, but they spent 250 million, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, it's barely a profit, right? But it's like, and that's just what we know that they spent, right? It's the above the fold and below the fold, that kind of stuff. So a lot of times they don't even report the true numbers that they spent, right? The true budget, So you understand, but then, like I said, there's secondary markets like Blu-ray, DVD, stuff like that. There's merch sales, and it's similar to just from my own observations over the years with the comic book industry and how through Diamond Publishing being kind of the sole publisher, right, and they kind of forced local shops to buy volume, right, to buy a certain amount of books, and then they count that purchase as sales, right? So they're not looking at the sales in actual local shops and going, okay, this is what the numbers are. They're going by, well, our total local shops that we distribute to purchase X amount of books because we require them to, right? Like you can't just buy 50 issues of, that new Punisher, right? You got to buy 500, right? Minimum, and not just Punisher, but you also have to buy this other lesser known characters book as is part of the bundle, right? And you got to buy at least 200 of those, right? You know what I mean? It's a whole thing. And then the local comic shops, they have to figure out, looking at their bottom line and how to move that merchandise and how to make money from it, right? Because they're stuck with that inventory. They just have to move the inventory, right?
Right.
So, and the publisher doesn't care, the distributor doesn't care. You understand? Because you bought the product. Similar to how like grocery chain, I don't know, stores, and especially local or mom and pop. A lot of times with these big manufacturers of certain products, they say you have to buy a minimum of. I used to work in distributing beverages, and the way it worked was, each store had to purchase a minimum supply of certain products, right? Because people want, let's say, Coke, right?
Yeah.
People buy Coke, right? They love Coca Cola. It's a popular brand. It's going to fly off the shelf. But that distributor is going to say, but you also have to buy Sprite. And you also have to get Mountain Dew from us. And you also have to get, Mr. Pibb and all these other, right? Because that's part of our distribution, right?
Right.
And so even though the store, that mom and pop grocery store, it's like, well, nobody buys Sprite. Everybody loves Coke, right? So that's all we want to order. They're going to say no, right? And on top of that, they'll say, well, we only sell, let's say 100 cases per month of Coke. So we only need, let's say, 120 cases. The distributor is going to say, no, you got to buy 200 cases or 250 cases, even though your sales show that you're only selling 100. It doesn't. You understand? They don't care. They're going to have their minimums because they want to meet their margins, their profit margins. So now that store owner, that's why you see in these stores, there's like buy one get one. Yeah, all this is about volume. They got to move it, and the quicker they move it, the more money they make, right? And they have to do a certain markup. All this kind of. It's a whole, and that's kind of how it is even in entertainment, right? It's not that different. Where they're pushing movies, they're pushing merch, right? The movie is the commercial, the merch is the product, right? You understand all any other tertiary things like syndication on television. They're going to sell the movie rights, and they do all that up front, right? So that's why a lot of times they're still making some profit because they've sold all this stuff, the movie theater distribution, all that stuff, right? So it's like that's why they keep going because they're not really suffering the consequences of a bad movie, right? They're not right because they got this whole network and system going where they know how to squeeze out a profit. What's the saying? They know how to squeeze blood from a turnip, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're going to get their little inkling, and then they'll doctor the numbers and show the board, the directors, and they'll be fine. They'll like, oh, we made a profit. Oh, the stocks went up X amount of percent. Okay, keep doing what you're doing. Then you understand? And it's only when it gets really bad where and that did happen right? There was a time, that's why they had a change in leadership at Disney, and all this kind of stuff. Like that was happening where the board is looking and going, wait a minute, guys, like these margins are small. Like we're not making really any good money here. What's going on? We got to restructure. And so that's kind of where you start to see change. And so this could be an indication of that. Um, Bringing back the OG stars of the original MCU, and that I think that's smart. The problem is, what are you going to do with them, right? What kind of story are you going to tell, right? Are you going to nerf their powers again, like you did with Hulk? You know what I mean. Are you gonna make Thor, like you did with Thor, to make him fat and depressed? Yeah. I mean, you understand? It's more than just the namesake, right? People want the characterizations that we fell in love with that original run. You know, you understand? Like we want a good story. We want a story that's aspirational and inspirational. And if we don't get that, um, you know, you're not gonna make money. It's gonna bomb. It's like Fantastic Four. It did okay, I think, in the box office. The latest iteration, and
Yeah,
and overall, it was a decent movie, right? Um, but it still fell short. It's still because they do just enough, at least in their minds, I believe, to kind of get the fans to go, oh, that looks pretty good. Then they pull back, right? They don't really give you what you're actually asking for. And I think it's the same with Superman, right? He gave you just enough Superman where you're like, oh yeah, that's Superman. Yeah, he's heroic and he wants to save all life and all this stuff. But then they couldn't help throwing in a little cynicism, a little bit of James Gunn. You understand? It's like, and that pulls it back, right? It's like, it stops just short of perfection, so to speak. And
yeah,
if they keep doing that, it's only going to take them so far. That's why the last Superman didn't really do very well, right? It didn't break any records. It really wasn't an impressive showing. It was okay, right? That's all you can really say. It was okay. It did okay, But a Superman movie should be doing gangbusters, right? And unfortunately, it didn't. And then now Supergirl's coming out, and I don't think it's as well received. It's very mixed, and that's another nitpick is it's almost like they're purposely dividing the fan base, right? By giving us something that's kind of there but not quite. And so some will accept it. Why? Well, they just want what they want. I want Supergirl. I don't care if she's brash and an alcoholic, you know, you know what I mean, and cynical and all this. I don't care. It's Supergirl, right? And then others are like, well, yeah, I'm glad it's Supergirl, but that's not the Supergirl I wanted, right? That's not the
yeah,
Supergirl I want to see. So now everybody's kind of split. Like, well, I want to like it, but I can't. And others are like, well, I like it, but I want more. But then it's still not quite there, right? It's so frightening. Then you got fans arguing with each other about it, and it's like, don't argue with each other. You know, go yell at the creators. Go yell
yeah,
at Disney and at DC and Marvel and Sony and all these other guys. Yell at them. Like focus your frustration at them, not at each other, right? Because it's not our fault that we're getting mediocre and crappy movies, right? And it's not anyone's fault if they happen to like one of those mediocre or crappy movies. You understand? Because like I said, some people are just accepting what they get, and that's fine. If you just want to be content and you're not trying to overthink this stuff, which at the end of the day, it's movies, and I think movies and storytelling does matter because it reflects the culture and it drives the culture, right? So it is important, but at the same time, it's also important to stay grounded. You know,
yeah. Well, I think the reason why we're making such a big deal out of it is because we're creators ourselves, and so it's like we're trying our hardest to make a good product, and people with more
yes,
resources than us are getting away with being mediocre when they don't have to. And on
yeah,
top of that,
yeah,
it's like
that's true.
this goes on to what I've always been saying. It's not the audience's job to like your movie. It's your
Yes,
job to create a movie that your audience is going to like.
that's exactly right. I agree, and yeah, you nailed it with that. It's like it's not
Because
your
when a movie
job to
flops
like
or
it.
it doesn't make money or it's panned, their immediate response is to blame the people who saw the movie
Yeah,
instead of
or the
self
people who
reflection.
didn't see it, right? Who people who didn't come out, and it's like that's not their fault. That's
When the
that's on us
question you should be
as
asking
creators.
is
That's on
saying,
us.
yeah,
You know, yeah, I agree. It's like that means we got to go back to the drawing board and go, okay, where did we miss? Right? What do we need to do to get butts in the seats? Right? And hopefully get some feedback and all that good stuff, right? But that's not really what's happening with these studios, right? They're really not seeking audience feedback. At least I'll put it this way: they seek it as a formality, but I don't think they take it very seriously. Like even James Gunn admitted that he had test audiences look at his movies like Superman, and he still didn't listen to him. Like you understand? Like still
yeah,
didn't listen to him. So it's like they still don't take it seriously, right? So they'll do the test audience, just like Supergirl. I heard that I forgot where it was. It was a comic book site, but they were talking about a test, and we talked about this I think last week, where the test audiences weren't liking the portrayal, right? So it's like, are they gonna listen and try to adapt, so that they do like it, or what? Probably not, because he doesn't have a history of caring or listening to it anyway. You see what I mean? Like, it's like,
yeah,
so if you're not going to listen to your audience, right? You literally have a sample audience, right? That's telling you, yeah, we like this, we don't like that. Then what's the point, right? And why would you expect it to do well if your test audience is saying, no, I wouldn't pay money to see this? You see how out of touch they are, that they don't even listen to the very people that they're trying to get money from. They're trying to extract money from. Right?
yeah.
It's crazy. It's kind of wild to think about that. It's like they just don't get it. So, but in the land of chaos, there is some order, and it appears every so often in a movie like David, where we have a biblical story being told, reimagined, not reimagined, but be reimagined on the big screen, right? From the biblical tale to an actual animated feature.
I mean,
And
it
I
was
have
it
to
was.
admit, I was impressed. I was
Oh yeah, we
impressed.
saw it. Yeah, we saw it on Christmas. It was
We saw
awesome.
it. We saw it on
Uh,
Christmas Day. It was a great movie. But let's watch the trailer real quick, and then we can talk about it.
When the sheep scatter, a shepherd is who they need.
That'll teach you to mess with my sheep!
Are you going to sing or what?
Follow the light.
Get out! The king's love of the crown has consumed him. David, are you ready to be the next king?
What? No.
No?
Don't mess this up for me, David. I get to be a princess.
I'm just a shepherd. We already have a king.
We will crush your kingdom! Those are fighting words! Bring out Goliath!
I've always followed when I'm looking for the way.
He's huge.
Searching for the answer in the moments I'm afraid.
Yep, we're dead.
If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive.
I told you.
He's brave. He is true. No.
He's so humble, too.
Come on and follow the light.
David! You have stolen the hearts of my people!
I have never wanted the throne.
Lies!
What happens now? You stolen David. Fight to the death.
I never asked for this.
The true battle is not against flesh and blood, but in our hearts.
I'm a shepherd. What can I do but look after my sheep? Come on and follow the
Celebrate Christmas at the movies. Buy tickets now at angel.com/David. Exclusively in theaters, December 19th.
Yeah, um, it was good. It really
You know,
was.
I'm glad I didn't see the trailer because I would have been saw half the movie already. But
No, I saw the trailer. Actually, we watched it earlier. We watched it a few weeks ago. Um, and yeah, it was like it looked okay. We were like, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, it'll be good. Yeah, the trailer doesn't really do it a lot of justice. This was a better trailer though. This is a different one we watched.
oh, okay,
It's definitely longer. It shows more of the film. You know, it's definitely looks more exciting, especially the Goliath part. That looks better. But this was surprisingly entertaining. It wasn't. I actually forgot that it was a musical. It's a musical. They're singing, and the singing is exceptional. It really is. The music is great.
yeah, the
The
music's
songs
good.
are memorable.
Yeah,
The characterizations are really good. And if you're someone who's familiar with the story of David in the Bible, they cover his story. This is the early part of his story very well. They do. It is, you know, it is a family movie.
yeah.
And if
So
you're
they,
familiar with the story, you know David's story is
I
not a
was
family friendly story, right?
no.
It's
Well,
it's
they covered the yeah. I was kind of
it's. I mean, it's not.
disappointed
It's
when
especially the part where he kills Goliath.
yeah. I was
Spoiler alert. You know, he kills
yeah
Goliath. You know, he actually they skipped the part
before he cuts off his head.
yeah, he
Yeah,
chops
I
his
was a
head
little
off and all that.
disappointed, but I realized, oh yeah, this
Well,
kid's.
yeah, I thought maybe they would do it implied. You know, like show him like wielding the sword and then kind of cut away, right? But
yeah, it's not a big deal. Though.
yeah, it's not. It doesn't take away from the overall theme of the story, the
No,
lessons about faith. I think. I mean, I'm not Jewish, but it looked pretty accurate in regards to the depictions of Jewish culture and things like that.
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I mean, they use a lot of terminology, you know, um, and the character designs. They look like they're from the proper region, you know, like a Middle Eastern, Southeast Asia, you know. So it's very well done in my opinion. It definitely looks Pixar level. You know, like it's the animation is really good, fluid. The rendering is nice, lighting is excellent. Voice acting was really good. Um, yeah, and they kind of played down, toned down the relationship between David and Jonathan. They didn't show a lot of the what's how it's just, and that's part of that is well, yeah, they just left out, you know, a lot of parts between like just exchanges, you know, like dialogue, things you know, between him and Jonathan. They did alter the story a bit, like when he was hiding in the desert and he
Yeah.
had the opportunity to kill King Saul and he didn't, right? Like Jonathan was a big part of that, but they kind of cut that out. So, which I
Oh,
understand because there's some controversy with that in the scripture. So, I think they wanted to avoid that. You know, which okay, that's fine. You know, I don't agree with the how some interpret that. You know, but that there is a contention out there, like a ongoing conversation or debate or whatever how you want to call it, with more liberal Christians and more conservative Christians. So, but I'll leave it at that. but
oh
but
yeah, yeah,
overall,
yeah, yeah.
this movie is excellent. Um, there's a lot of great scenes. And spoiler alert, I'm not gonna hold back, you know, anything. So I don't do non-spoiler reviews. But yeah, so you know, he starts off as a shepherd boy. You know, he's out tending his sheep, and he you know he rescues the sheep from a lion. So we already get introduced to him as this very brave young man, right, and very courageous and responsible, right. He takes his tending to the sheep very seriously, right. And they even imply that the sheep themselves are so sort of imprinted on him that you know they're like family to him, right? They follow him wherever he goes, you know. But it's a really cool scene where he fights a lion and he rescues a baby sheep, and you know, so that introduces us to David, and it shows us okay, this is a character um, you know, we can take seriously. And he's brave, courageous, he's intelligent, he's responsible, you know, but he's not necessarily a Mary Sue, right? Having him battle the lion, and he comes out victorious, and it's. I think this scene is a bit fictionalized because he does fight a lion in the Bible.
He does. He
Yeah,
kills it.
and he kills it with the jawbone. No, he kills it
Yeah, he kills it with
with the
the
jawbone
jawbone.
of an ass, right? Of a
Yeah.
donkey, right? Yeah. No, I keep thinking, is that Samson? No, that was David. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean but it's a whole different dynamic. It has the scene that they put in the movie is obvious fictionalized scene, right?
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
will say
Yeah,
this though: the way it's handled, it's consistent with the theme of the story, and
yeah, it is.
they're trying to portray David as someone who's, uh, as a man. He's a man after God's heart, right? So he's
Yeah,
strong, he's powerful, but he's also merciful, right? And that was kind of the point.
yeah, yeah. And so after
So
this,
I
he
didn't have a
he,
problem with
he
it.
gets anointed by Samuel the prophet, and he's told, you're going to be the king. And of course, in the Bible, he goes to David's father's house, and he talks. He looks at all the sons. He has several brothers, and a sister, I believe. And he goes through all the sons, and he's like, "Nope, they're not. This is not it. He's not it." And finally, he's like, "Well, is there another?" Right? And lo and behold, David shows up, and he said, "Oh, this is the one." Right? And I like how they portray um, their relationship to God and how they hear from God. It's not like the Ten Commandments, right? If you remember that movie, or even the Prince of Egypt, where they show the presence of God through the fire and the cloud, and all this stuff, and the voice from heaven, and the burning bush, and all that's scriptural, right? But here, we don't get a lot of that, right? It's toned down quite a bit, where you
Well,
can
it's
see
a lot more
Samuel.
subtle.
Yeah, it's very very subtle. He looks up. There's a light breeze, right? A flicker of a candle. Little
Well,
things like
I don't
that.
know if you notice. You also see every once in a while you'll see like I think it's either a ram or like a deer out in the distance.
Yeah,
Every
that's
once in a
right. I
while throughout
remember
the
that.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there's things like that. It's more subtle, and he hears from God, and he's like, "Yeah, you're the one. You're anointed." And he's like, "No way! Like I don't want to be right." So he completely rejects it. You know, and it's interesting because he tells him this, but then nothing happens. Right? There's no like ceremony. He just basically prays over him. He anoints him with oil. Right? And I like that because it seemed accurate to how it described in scripture, and then he pours it over his head and all that. Then his mother comes and she kind of wipes him down, wipes his head off his head. But um, then it's kind of, then the king summons him, which is, I love the timing of it because you think, uh-oh, right? Like the king must have got wind of what's happening. Then you find out, no, the king is having a emotional, mental health breakdown, right? Like he's going through, and this is biblical. King Saul, he was chosen because he was, had he was hot, like mighty in stature. He's very tall and handsome and good looking. That's why the people chose him as king. So he was Israel's first king. And but over time, as he got older, he started to sort of fall prey to his own thoughts, right? And you could say evil spirits, things like that. And he would basically kind of go crazy, right? If you're familiar with like Game of Thrones, right? They talk about the Mad King, right? And what is the Mad King? Well, it's the king that goes mad with power, and because he doesn't trust anyone, he starts just murdering everybody, right? He just wants to kill off entire houses, right, and their
Yeah.
children because he thinks they're going to subvert his power, right? And that's kind of what's happening with Saul, right? He's not on that war path yet, but he's definitely approaching that. And so he calls in musicians and entertainers to come to soothe him, And so he shows up. He doesn't really know what's going on, and finally he appears in front of Saul, and he's like, "Okay, I don't know what you want, right?" He's like, "You gonna sing what, right?" So he runs out. He gets the lyre. I think that's what it's called, the
Yeah,
instrument,
it's a liar.
and he starts playing and he sings. And it's already established that he can sing because the movie starts off with him singing a song, right? So he sings the song, and it's a beautiful song, and he likes it. And so I was like, okay, great, like you know. And so now he kind of becomes this friend to the king, you know, because and in the Bible that was his role eventually in the king's court. He was playing the lyre and he would sing to soothe the king when he became erratic and emotional, when evil spirits, right, were sort of haunting his mind, right. It was David that calmed him down, so that was David's role for a while when he was young. And of course, over the course of that, the king's son Jonathan and David became close friends. Now, in this depiction, um, it's interesting, and I'm not sure. I'll concede to them as being biblically accurate, but they portrayed Jonathan as being older. Like he was already probably,
Yeah, he was
like
already
you
a
say,
man, and
young,
David was still
early
a
20s
kid.
at least, right? While
Yeah.
here, David's clearly in his teens, right? Probably 16, 17, So I thought that was interesting. Honestly, never thought about that, and I don't recall ever reading that. That means I need to go back and reread my Bible. But yeah, apparently Jonathan was a little older, so I never knew that. Always thought they were around the same age, which is why they were friends, right? That's what I assume. So here though, Jonathan's a little older. He's like, like I said, looks like maybe he's early 20s or something, and David is clearly a teenager. And then there's a time jump, once he's eventually, he comes to the well. I'm jumping ahead, but the Philistines were a common enemy of Israel, right? And at this time, they were literally a thorn in their side, because they were basically kind of lording their power over Israel. And so one day they challenge Israel to a battle, and they say, "Look, you give us your best warrior, we give you ours. We'll call it. It'll be a done deal, right? You win, we'll leave you alone, whatever, right?" So Israel's like, okay, and of course they call up their greatest warrior, which is Goliath, who's a giant, right? He's literally a giant, right? He's, you know, I don't know if the Bible, like I said, it's been a long time since I read this story, but he was big, and in fact, which they didn't do this in the movie, but Goliath had brothers who were also giants. So it
What?
wasn't. Yeah, he had brothers who were giants. So it wasn't just Goliath. Goliath had a couple brothers who were giants also.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's a little known. Yeah. So, but anyway, so Goliath, and this is funny. Like the scene opens up.
Oh yeah, they did a good job with.
Yeah, you have the warriors show up. They're all lined up right on the hill, and then they show this big burly guy just walk up, right? He's like Jurassic Park, boom, boom, right? And and it's like, oh, that's not him. That's his armor bearer,
Yeah, that's a
and he's
dark
carrying this
bear.
giant shield and sword, right? And then
Yeah,
he moves steps to the side, and here comes Goliath, and he's even bigger and taller, right? It's
that was funny.
hilarious.
That was
That was
funny.
a great scene. It's like, yo, that's crazy. And
So
so
what I think one thing I do want to I think we should mention about the movie is the audience reaction, right? Because one thing I do that stood out to me because obviously it's for kids, right? And I remember talk. I remember watching. I did watch Critical Drinkers video about about David just to see what he said. And one thing he mentioned was, "Oh, I don't know if kids are going to be able to sit through the movie because it's very long." But that wasn't an issue at all. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. That was not an
yeah,
issue
it was not.
whatsoever.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, the kids, I heard nothing but kids cheering and laughing throughout the entire movie.
yeah,
As a
they
matter of fact,
were.
by the end of the movie, by the third act of the movie, they were all chanting David's name,
Yeah, that's
and that's
exactly right. Yeah,
something that
they
I
were
didn't even
fully
see.
engaged. Yeah,
Yeah, that's something that I didn't even see during the Superman movie. Which
yeah,
is
that's
crazy.
exactly right. They were
And
cheering
I
David.
mentioned that.
Yeah, and it's a 2 hour movie.
Yeah,
It's not super long, but it's a solid 2 hours. Um, and that's not including trailers, right? So the trailers are
yeah.
another 20 minutes, right? But yeah, the kids were excited. They were cheering for him at the parts where he, because they showed him like I said when he took down Goliath, they were like, yeah, yeah, right. So it was great, and especially the third act, um, great finale, very dramatic. And listen, that's the beauty of good storytelling, man. Is even if you know what's going to happen, you're still pulled in and you're still rooting for the hero. And you definitely do that in this movie, in that
Oh
third
yeah.
act. It's quite powerful, and it's such a simple story. Like it really is. It's not like super elaborate. It's very straightforward, and it's just the early life of David when he's basically it ends where he's officially anointed king, right? And this is after Saul and Jonathan are killed in battle. So, and that's pretty much biblically accurate. And but yeah, it ends very well. I kind of wondered, like, yeah, where is it going to stop? So, because
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah.
David's life is. I would like to see another movie, whether it's animated or live action, that covers the rest of his life.
I don't know.
So,
I
I mean,
don't
obviously, it's not going
know.
to be a family film,
No.
but still, it'll be nice to see that because yeah, it's really good. I
I
mean, I
mean
know that I
that
think
portrait
there's
of his life is pretty much Game of Thrones. So
yeah, it is. It is Game of Thrones basically. But I think there is a live action series right now that's going on about
oh
David.
really?
So yeah,
Interesting.
I think it's on Amazon if I'm not mistaken. I have to look that up. But so there is something. So maybe that'll be something to check out to get the full story. You know,
Yeah, but definitely
unrated.
go. Yeah, but that's the thing though. One thing I appreciate about the movie David is that it's like they show like when I saw when they showed the lion scene, I was very happy about it because hey, it was a cool scene, but it's like they're starting off showing David as like he's a strong, he's brave, he's a hero, right? And it's like I think for like on a lot of modern media, right? Um, they're allergic to showing young men and boys being brave and courageous and stuff like that because
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, I
we've
agree.
demonized that behavior in men, right? And it was really satisfying to um, see that being portrayed, right? Because
It
listen, let's
was.
be honest. No, nobody. I think I talked about this last time, but like nobody, like no most kids, or I dare say no kids are, especially like little boys. They're not looking up to like Steven Universe, right? They're just not, right? And I could say this because I used to I work a lot with kids, but like they're looking to Spider Man and Superman and now they're gonna look up to David, and which is really cool. Um,
Yeah, I agree, and that's what I love about this is it makes a very compelling biblical character into a more mainstream character potentially. So, and I think so far it's doing okay in box office. I think it's
well,
pretty
that's
successful.
what I'm curious about to see how well it did because I think it's coming out at the same time as another Avatar. There we go.
Yeah, Avatar is out right now. That's right. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting to find out. So far on Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 98% for the audience score and 72 for critics. So it's
I don't
it's
care about the
it's.
critics. 98's all that really matters.
I agree, but still, that's impressive.
It is, yeah.
That's very impressive. So I'm very happy to see that. And like I said, I wish it all the best because it is genuinely a beautiful movie. Um, it's great, and the creator of the movie, he appears at the beginning and the end with a special message. And like at the end, I like that he asked to sort of donate tickets to others to be able to see the movie. So that's kind of cool. So I think if you go to Angel Studios, and I don't know if you have to log in or not, but I think if you find the movie through that portal, you can probably buy tickets not only for yourself but for others as well. You can actually buy tickets for other people to go see it. So if you're
Also,
compelled to do that, I encourage you to do it. That's pretty good. I think I might do that myself, to be honest.
also, it looks like it's made 37 million domestic as of you know as of today. So
Wow, that's pretty good for
yeah,
opening weekend, right?
opening weekend was 22 million.
Okay,
Overall, it's 37 million.
okay, got it. 22 million is pretty good. I wonder what the budget was. Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, that's the big
Because this is
question.
an Angel project, and if you're not familiar with Angel Studios, what you do is you pitch your movie or a series idea, um, and it's called a torch. And then you pitch it, they agree to take it on and allow you to use their platform to raise funding to invest
Oh,
in your
okay.
project. And then through Angel Studios, and of course through your own efforts, you promote it and you raise money and get people to invest in your project through Angel Studios. They provide the platform, the structure, infrastructure, and distribution. So once it's funded and produced, they'll distribute it. However it needs to be distributed. It could be directly on their app, which their app has tons of movies and TV shows, right? Or it'll be distributed through normal distribution channels
So it
in
looks like
theaters, etc.
the yeah. So it looks like the budget for the movie was $60.9 million.
Serious 69 60. You said 60.9.
Yeah.
So $60 million. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So
So
far, and
that
right.
looks phenomenal.
Okay. So
And
right
on
now,
the
their
opening
box office
weekend,
is at 41.8 million.
so they've almost made that back in what, a
Almost.
week? About a week?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like they're gonna make that money back. Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they double it, if not triple it. So
Yeah.
that's
We'll
impressive.
see.
And that's domestic, right? Is that, or is that global?
Well, looks like I'm guessing the 41.8 is global.
It'll tell you. It'll say international versus domestic. Are you looking at Mojo?
I just looked at Wikipedia. To be honest,
Mojo Mojo is better. Box Office
I'm
Mojo.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Let's,
cool.
let's see.
But yeah, I hope this movie does great. It's a great movie. I've heard people compare it. A lot of people like to compare it to Prince of Egypt. Listen, uh, David's a great movie. It's probably the best movie that I've seen in theaters this year. It's not Prince of Egypt. like Prince of Egypt. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. That movie lives. It's one of those things that lives rent free in my mind
Yeah,
because it
that's
was
that is a
so good.
masterpiece. Yeah, Prince
Yeah,
of Egypt
it's
is a
a high
masterpiece.
bar, but I think I do think it's a compliment on David's part that is being compared to Prince of Egypt, but it's definitely not. It's not Prince of Egypt. It's
Okay,
just
so it's at 41 million worldwide.
okay. Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And probably with international, it's probably a limited run, meaning they probably only have like a couple of theaters, because that gets expensive. So hopefully, once with the success here, hopefully that can open up more theaters to want it, and that'll allow them to make more money, even more money. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm rooting for it. I hope it does well. Um, and hopefully that'll mean it'll lead to more movies being made, especially based on biblical characters. I think that's important right now, with great lessons and great themes. And this one, overall theme was courage, right? And faith and courage in light of challenges and circumstances. Because as you know in the story, Saul believes David is trying to overthrow him, right? He gets jealous, basically. Because David kills Goliath, he becomes a hero to the people, and of course, everyone's hyper focused on David and not the king, right? And so the king doesn't like it, and so he basically accuses him of trying to kill him, even though he tried to kill David. David flees. Of course, Jonathan doesn't believe him, and most of the people don't either. And so those people who are loyal to David, they actually flee with him, right? Because he seeks to kill them off. Anyone that's basically that he sees as disloyal. And so, and eventually they're hiding in the desert, in the caves, and there's a key scene where Saul stops to rest, and he goes to the very cave that they're hiding in, and he sits down in the shade, and he's sitting there contemplating, right? Still, obviously wrestling with the demons within his own mind, because and I think the movie does a good job of showing how conflicted he is. That he really is like dealing with something internal. You know, and David sort of sneaks up on it, and at the encouragement of his brothers, right? They give him the sword. They're like, "Hey, this is your chance, right? Take him out, and then all our problems are solved, right?" Because the people want, they want to be free from Saul's tyranny, right? And so he sneaks up on him, and but he doesn't kill him, right? And I like how they did this. He comes out of the cave, Saul gets on his horse. No, he doesn't get on his horse. He just comes out, and then David comes out not long after, and he shouts out to him and everything. And he tells him, "Look, if I wanted you dead, surely you would be dead now." And he holds up a piece of Saul's cape, of his robe
Yeah,
or whatever that he was wearing.
that
And
was really
Saul,
smart.
looks at his robe like, "Yo, right? Like there's a piece missing." And he's like, I could have killed you. The Lord delivered you into my hands, right? Like I had the opportunity, but I didn't take it because I don't want to kill you, right?" And and it's kind of interesting because he walks up to Saul and he embraces him, right? And Saul embraces David, and then he just kind of pushes him away and he just leaves. And he's like, like it's like he's just so conflicted, right? Like he doesn't know what to do.
Well, in that scene, it was they made it clear that he didn't want to look weak or unsure in front of his men
Yeah, yeah, I
because
think you're
like
right.
we
Yeah,
came all the way out here to kill him, you know?
yeah, but it's like he did. It's like he had no cause. You understand? It's like he just
Yeah,
showed me mercy. He just showed like he isn't trying to kill me in front of everyone, right? All the soldiers that are with me, right? They witnessed, and even then, when they saw that, you saw the soldiers kind of stepped out of the way. Like at
yeah,
first, they were ready to fight. And then when he held that up and he started walking towards, they're like, "Oh, well, okay." They kind of backed off. They're like, "Yeah, he could have killed him, and he didn't."
yeah,
It's like that's very compelling, right? So, yeah, it was that, and I think he's just. It's like, what can he do? Is he gonna just kill David in cold blood? Then they'll go, "Well, why did you kill him? He didn't do anything to you."
right.
You see what I mean? So it's like he didn't know what to do. He just left. He just rides off. So it's kind of fascinating. They're still hiding out because David refused to murder him, obviously. And so they find an old camp, and they're camped out there of their another enemy. Them, I think it was the Amalekites, right?
Yeah, it was
Um,
Amalekites.
and
Damn, why are you spoiling the whole movie?
because that's what I do. That's what I said at the
Oh my
beginning. I said
god.
I don't believe in non-spoiler reviews. So, but anyway, series of events occur, and ultimately Saul and Jonathan are killed in battle. Right, but they're fighting the Philistines. Right, they're killed by the Philistines, I think. So and then, of course, David gets captured. His family gets captured by the Amalekites. Right, he has to go rescue them, and that's a great scene. I won't spoil that because that's a beautiful scene. It's like
All right, good. Yeah.
if you want to see an example of despair, right, and and what triumph looks like in the midst of despair, you got to watch that scene.
Yeah, that was they
It's
actually did it. That was really awesome. They
Yeah,
did a
that
really good
really it was
job.
so wow, like just powerful and so well done. So, but go see this movie. It's definitely worth the watch. It's kid friendly. It's family. I like to say family friendly because it's not just for kids. It's for everyone. It really is. It's not a kiddie movie. You know what I mean? Where
No,
there's like
no, it's
silly
not.
songs and all. It's nothing like that. There's no. I mean, they have like cute little animals, but they're not there for comic relief, and they're not there for merch grabs. They're not. They're everything in there is intentional and helps the story move forward. So I appreciate that. I think that's probably why it feels so different watching it because it's very good, but it's not a typical Disney esque movie, right?
No.
It's not, and it's not even a Pixar movie in the sense of how Pixar movies, like the entire Pixar movie is a cash grab. Like every Pixar movie is merch, right?
Oh yeah,
Starting with Toy Story, it's literal. It's literally a story
the
about
toys.
toys.
It's
It's
toys. Yeah,
merchandise. It's a story about merchandise. You know, and they acknowledge that in the story, right, with Buzz Lightyear and all that, right, and all of the iterations, right, which is fine, But you understand every Pixar movie is a merch movie. It's a movie that sells merch, right? Because every character is a piece of merch. Monsters Inc. Cars. Like it's cars. You understand? Like, so it's kind of funny, right? To see that. And then here's David, and it's like, I guess there's merch opportunities with the David character, but the reality is it really isn't. And that could be to their detriment, right? Um, so far as being able to make money off of like secondary markets, right, and all that stuff. Um, but like the music, though, I think they could because the music is very beautiful. The soundtrack is amazing, so I think that could sell on its own. And I'm just talking about just straight. How do you profit so that you can keep doing more, right? You have to make things that are commercially viable so that people want to buy it. You understand? Um, so yeah, I hope it does well. I really do. Like this is a phenomenal movie. So and lots of opportunity here. So, but yeah, I encourage you to check it out, David. It's in theaters now, and it's a good movie. It's worth it. Bring your family. Young and old. Just get some friends together, or just go watch it. It's really good. It really is, and I'm thankful for that. So I can appreciate a movie that I can go see and not worry about walking out, blushing and
Oh,
feeling
okay.
uncomfortable or
Yeah.
enraged. Because it's like, why do they do that, right? No, it's nothing like that. Everything in
Oh,
it
yeah.
is just it's great. It's exceptional. You don't feel like you're being preached at. That's the thing. This is the irony of this movie. It's a movie about a biblical character and his relationship with God, and it does not feel preachy at all.
That's true. Yeah.
It does not preach at you. It doesn't hit you over the head. It doesn't shame you. It simply inspires you. It gives you a great moving story that is aspirational and inspirational. It really is. So please check it out. It's definitely worth it. So yeah, that's all I have for the David review, movie review. Um, we're going to talk about the Christopher Nolan Odyssey trailer, and you told me about this Saturday AM battle manga, right?
Oh, yeah.
You want to check that out?
So for those who don't know, there's a uh, indie comic publisher called Saturday AM, and they publish independent manga and digital comics and stuff like that made by people. I think the most popular one that I know of is called um, Clock Striker, and it looks pretty good. I've been meaning to read it. I haven't gotten the chance yet, but they recently just launched a crossover fighting game with all their characters called Saturday Battle Manga, and it looks really good. So let me, if you want to pull up the trailer.
I got that right here.
All right, cool.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, Saturday AM.
'Today is my birthday.
Well,
Who's this
happy
guy?
birthday.
Is he the
He's
creator?
the yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, happy
I'll look
birthday,
up
and
myself
thanks
too.
for the game.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. All right, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
I like the art. The
I
graphics
think
are nice.
particularly he's the writer of one of the main. I think is Apple Black. It's one of the comics from the series. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Or Apple Black. Yeah.
yeah, Apple Black. Yeah, that was right. But yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it looks awesome. It's got 2v2. Obviously, it does the arc system style of 3D cell shading. It looks great.
It does. It actually looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. So yeah,
When
check it
is
out when you get a chance.
and
And
this is
obviously,
when is it coming out? Like,
oh, I don't know. I mean, hopefully it comes out soon. I mean, they just released the reveal trailer. I think yesterday or 2 days ago. But they haven't announced a release date yet.
let's see.
So it's
I'm
probably going to
checking
come
it.
out either next year. It's probably going to come out next year, or yeah, probably late next year. If I had to take a guess.
I'm looking at their Steam release date. Yeah, it just says to be announced. So there's no official date yet.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
take as much time as you need. The game looks great.
yeah, it's going to be available on Steam. Yeah, so nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty dope. And I haven't,
I like
unfortunately, I haven't
this game.
read any of the comics yet. I know about Clock Striker. I've seen a few panels of it. It's really good art, actually. It's really good art. Um, so I've been meaning to actually read it, but I've been just caught up with other stuff. But
Yeah,
it is really good.
yeah, this looks awesome. Very original. She reminds me of that show, the Invincible Fight Girl or whatever. I don't know
I'm
if you
sure
know her.
she's way cooler than Eventual Fight
Probably, I'm
Girl.
just saying like at a glance. That's I don't know why I keep
I
thinking
think
that.
it might be the hair and
Maybe, yeah,
the
maybe.
chibi art
I
style.
like this. I like the gauntlet here. Like that's kind of dope.
Yeah, yeah. She has a cool design. I like her.
Yeah. So yeah, this is awesome. I love this hammer. That's awesome. It's so in the nose. Like yep. So yeah, this is cool. Yeah, awesome. Good stuff. Check it out.
Yeah, and they're all protagonists from the different web comics that are in the lineup. So
Yeah, check out his channel. I guess White Manga or Wit Manga.
I'm guessing it's white.
White. Okay. Yeah, check him out on YouTube. White Manga. So cool channel.
Yeah, he does.
He likes
I've
English
seen a few of his
commentary.
videos.
Yeah, I've watched his stuff. I'm
Oh
actually
yeah, okay.
subscribed. So yeah, I just hadn't seen that trailer. So
Oh nice.
yeah, so it's a great channel. Awesome. Yeah, that was cool. So I don't know. Do you want to see the Odyssey trailer? I kind of do. I'm interested. I haven't watched it, so I have no idea what it looks like.
So the last time I hadn't listen, I haven't seen anything. The last time I saw an Odyssey movie, it was the I'm guessing it came out in the '60s.
Yeah, you're talking about Jason and the Argonauts.
No, it was there was an actual movie about the Odyssey.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
you
looks like
really
yeah. I don't. That's only I think it's Jason and the Argonauts. And
no. That's
this looks like
a
Odyssey.
completely different story, Dad. What do you mean, Jason and
Oh,
the
okay.
Argonauts?
All right. I don't know. You got to jog my memory then, because I
You
don't.
don't know about it's the Iliad and the Odyssey.
I know about Iliad.
Jason.
I've read it. I'm talking about. You said a movie. I'm like I don't remember a movie. That's
Well,
all.
I know, but the story is. I mean,
I know the story. I read the Iliad. You said a movie. I said I don't remember.
well, yeah, the
That's what I'm saying.
Odyssey
I
is
don't
obviously
remember a
a
movie.
sequel to the Iliad, right? Because it's about the journey to Troy, and then it's
Yes,
about
I've
Odysseus's.
read Homer's Odyssey. You said a movie. I don't remember a movie about the Odyssey. I don't remember
Oh
seeing it.
yeah, yeah, it came out in
You understand?
1977.
That's what I keep telling you. You're not listening.
Oh, okay, but it
I
came
just
out in
watched the trailer. 19 what?
77.
Okay. Yeah, I was like four. I don't know. All right, let's take a look.
after years of war.
You didn't have to say that.
We're Batman.
No one could stand between my men and home. Not even me.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
Interesting. What do you think?
Okay, I mean, it looks like the Odyssey. Uh,
Well, it looks like typical Greco-Roman story about something in history. I mean, it doesn't really tell me Odyssey just from the visuals. I mean, like it's kind of
oh, that's true. They don't show any of the whimsical stuff like the
yeah,
giants or the
Greco-Roman
mermaids.
warriors, battle,
That would have been nice.
swords, boats. Okay, that's kind of it.
But
I'm
yeah,
not
this
getting any Odyssey from this.
the '70s movie.
Rowboat.
Um,
I mean, it could be Gladiator for all I know.
yeah, maybe. Yeah. But
I
yeah, it
mean, you
was.
understand?
We had to.
It looks kind of generic, to be honest. Just from the trailer, I don't know about
I mean,
the
that's
rest.
fair. But yeah, we had to read the Odyssey in school, and then once we finished the book, our teacher showed us the '70s movie. And it was fun. You know, it definitely felt like Jason and the Argonauts, in terms of like production and stuff like that. They had the giant. They covered, the mermaids. I think they covered because he goes to this island where this lady turns all of his men into pigs, and he finds out that
Yeah,
he's there for like
seriously,
the yeah,
seriously.
seriously, there we go. But the ending of the movie was badass because you know, because by the end of the story, Odysseus gets home and there's a bunch of suitors trying to get his wife, and so he sneaks in his own house dressed as like an old man, and he challenged them all to like an arrow shooting competition, and then when he wins, he reveals he's Odysseus, and he just starts murking everybody in the house. It's nuts. It's great.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the IMDb. I'm like, kind of recognize this.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to go see a good Odyssey movie, go watch that one. It's a lot of fun, and honestly, I'm sure this will be cool, but I don't know, I'm just really tired of like just because it's a dark story doesn't mean that you have to turn the brightness down. You know, because
Yeah,
yeah, like I
yeah,
said, it just makes it look like a generic Christopher Nolan movie, right? And it's like
yeah,
you know Greek Greek mythology, like for all of its insanity, it's like it's a fantasy. It's supposed to be like whimsical and mysterious and adventurous.
I
So it's
agree.
like,
I agree with you. Yeah. So, but so far, yeah, that's my impression. It's kind of like, oh,
yeah.
okay,
I mean, I don't know how.
it's
Well,
another
apparently there was some
gladiator.
kind
It's
of
another gladiator.
controversy. It was like how like I don't see the controversy with
Well,
it. I
it
just
has to
looks.
do with the historical accuracy of the portrayal of these soldiers. This frame kind of spells it out. You have this very almost ultra modern design of the helmet and armor. And it's kind of like that's not really historically, accurate. right? Like it's not.
I mean, fair
Um,
enough. I mean, it looks cool.
yeah, it looks cool, but it's not historical, right? Like that's all they're saying. They're like based on the time period it's supposed to happen. Soldiers, Roman or Greco-Roman soldiers didn't look like that, right? Didn't have armor that looked this way. It looks kind of a modern take on the Greco-Roman design, right? Which obviously that's what it is, right? But it's not supposed to be, right?
I mean, I don't.
So that's what I was saying on Batman because it's like a lot of people comparing it to that,
I mean, it
you
does
know, like
look. It does look like.
bat armor,
Yeah, it
like
does
if
look like
Batman went back in
Batman.
time, this is
Yeah.
what he would look like, right? Like so, it's probably a nitpick because hopefully overall the movie's really good, right?
Yeah.
It's Christopher Nolan.
Well,
He's got a
especially
good
when you
track
compare
record,
it to
so
this other guy, right? The guy standing next to him who looks like he's from the
yeah,
time
that
period.
looks more historically accurate, exactly. So, but maybe that was the point with to create this contrast. Like maybe this
Yeah.
is some, really maybe this is part of the fantastical aspect of the story, is this soldier who is or these soldiers that are you know minions of some mystical place. Who knows, right? And here they come across these regular Roman soldiers, right? So
Yeah.
who knows?
I
That
don't.
that could
Yeah. I
be
don't
that
think
could be
that's
the
a.
context. Is that maybe this could be a dream sequence? Who knows, right? Like we
Yeah.
don't
I
know.
mean, it doesn't
It's
seem
a
like a serious nitpick. It could be worse.
yeah. I agree.
Like,
I agree.
I think it
It is
looks
a nitpick.
cool. It's based
It
off
does.
of a myth, based off of a real battle, not the actual battle
Yeah, and that's
itself.
what I'm saying. It's probably not even like intended an intended aspect of the movie, like a regular. It's probably like I said, a dream sequence or some type of fantastical element, right? That's out of
Maybe. Who
context.
knows? I mean, even if it
Because
is,
you look at the
it
rest of them,
looks cool.
they all look kind of normal after that, right? They
Yeah.
don't look right. So that's my guess is that maybe this is something that is, part of some type of sequence, like fantastical sequence or dream.
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
Or maybe he's the
That's where they
captain
look.
because everybody else
Maybe,
looks normal.
yeah, that's true. Maybe there's yeah. I'm just
Maybe
saying
he's the
there's
main
probably a
character. Do you
purpose.
ever think
Definitely
about that? maybe
a
he's
maybe I don't know, but there's
maybe
probably
he's
a purpose to
Odysseus.
why he looks this way, right? So who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people kind of poking fun at that. Though. So I was like, yo, that's not historically accurate. It's like but I mean,
I
we'll
mean,
see.
I would be more upset if it was they were recreating the actual Battle of Troy, but this is the Odyssey, which is already a fictionalized version of that battle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, my complaint
I don't
is
think so.
for something called the Odyssey, it looks very boring.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
It looks very typical Greco-Roman. You know, it could be Clash of the Titans, it could be Gladiator, it could be like
Three
you can
hundred.
watch this and it could literally be anything. There's nothing about it that tells you, oh, that's the Odyssey, right? Like nothing. So it's just guys in a boat, guys in
What's the Iliad? Am I tweaking out? The Iliad was the Battle of Troy.
so. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I hope it's good. I think it'll be good. I don't see why it
Or
wouldn't
the
be. I'm just,
Trojan War.
and
Yeah.
this is an early trailer. It's not a full full blown trailer. So hopefully we'll get more and get to see more. You know, contextually and you know. So we'll see. But Christopher Nolan has a good history, right? Good track record. So
I mean, yeah.
yeah, we'll see. I'm not, you know, I'm not disappointed or anything. It's just like, oh, that's it. Okay. Like, is there more? More, please. Right. But yeah, that's that. I mean, but yeah, that's funny. When I saw that there was this meme. I don't have it pulled up, but where somebody doctored it to look like Batman.
I mean, he
It's
is a
kind of
very dark knight.
yeah, it's kind of like yeah, that's that's pretty much Batman armor. Yeah, so, it's kind of hilarious. Like listen, the internet is
It reminds me
interesting.
of the old Silver Age comics, like the Legion of Batman. And it's a bunch of Batman from different universes, and there's a cowboy Batman, a
Yeah,
matador Batman.
it's so
Yeah,
silly. Yeah, so it's like
that's what
okay,
that reminds me of.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. I hope it's good. I'm rooting for it. You know,
I have my fill of
you
movies
guys
for
looking
this year.
forward to seeing this, seeing the Odyssey? Let us know in the comments. I mean, it's almost like it's just like Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Like I heard good things about it, but it kind of just came and went, right?
Oh yeah,
You know,
my
and I
friends were
think
talking about that.
yeah,
They
part
said it
of
was
it
really
is that
good.
they said it's because I think it went directly to streaming, right? It wasn't in theaters, if I understand correctly.
Oh, I
It
didn't
was
know
just
that.
yeah. So it's like the spectacle is kind of gone, right? Like you know what I mean? It just kind of it just came and went, and it's like oh that was good, and then move on, right? Like you know. Um, so I don't know. I haven't even checked it out myself, and I want to because I've heard good things. So
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks like it's accurate to the books,
yeah, that's what I
and
heard. Yeah, it's very book accurate,
which
and
should be
visually
pretty
it looks
interesting.
beautiful. Yeah, I saw the trailers for it.
See,
It
what
looks
I want to
beautiful.
see is because Junji Ito, the horror writer,
Uh huh.
he did a manga version of Frankenstein, or
Oh
the
wow.
modern Prometheus story, and it looks awesome. His version of Frankenstein looks horrifying, but it's also accurate to the book, so you feel bad for him because he's that's the whole point, right? It's he was supposed to be he was supposed to be Adam, right? But he became Lucifer because of Frankenstein's actions and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Interesting.
Well, I mean that's the whole point of. I'm assuming you read the book, right?
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Have I read Frankenstein? I think so. If I did, it was probably like sixth grade.
Oh well, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the whole Frankenstein story is an allegory of Adam and Eve and Lucifer and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I've seen enough Frankenstein movies, so
I mean, fair
I
enough.
get I get the gist of it. But
I mean, I
yeah,
haven't seen
it's
any Frankenstein movies to be perfectly honest.
You didn't see
I,
I Frankenstein, the masterpiece of a generation?
I Frankenstein.
I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, I Frankenstein was garbage, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I was like, what?
I mean, it was a
What?
cool, it was a cool idea, poor execution. So,
Oh, okay.
but I've seen the classic Frankenstein movies, so and I've seen the monsters.
I've seen it
Monsters.
through
That was a great show.
pop culture photosynthesis, not
And Ruby
photosynthesis.
Ghoulies and Friends.
I mean, that's okay. That's not the same. That's not the clearly not the same thing.
And Drac Pack. I don't know if you remember that. I used to
It's
watch
like
that.
say not the Drac Pack, Dad.
Drac Pack was awesome. That's
No,
another
no, it wasn't. I've seen the
show.
Drat Pack.
I'm
It was
dating
not that
myself.
cool.
I'm really dating myself now. It's like straight up 60s and 70s.
Oh,
But
gosh.
but yeah, yeah. I mean, I want to check that out though. It sounds like it was a good portrayal. So good rendition of Frankenstein.
Yeah, and read the book, the good book, and also
I'm sure it
read.
is. I just don't remember it.
Oh no, I'm just trying to chat,
Yeah.
but also read the manga version by Junji Ito. That was also very good. It's also accurate to the book, and it's really good art.
Nice. But yeah, I know I've been hearing a lot of buzz. Speaking of horror, Stranger Things season 5 is out. I guess it's the last season,
I
and
don't
I've
really
been
care about
I
Stranger
haven't
Things.
I
I know
haven't
you've seen it, but
well I've seen up to season 4. I haven't watched season 5 yet, and honestly, I don't have a huge interest in it. Um, it's been too long, I think, and two, I keep hearing a lot of things about the characters and all the things we complain about on this channel is in that show in this season. So I don't know.
oh.
It's making me not want to watch it.
Well, my thing is with Stranger Things. I mean, anybody could correct me if I'm wrong. Is that it feels more concerned with referencing the '80s than actually telling a compelling story that's reminiscent of those '80s stories.
No, that's not true. It is reminiscing the '80s, but it is telling a compelling story. The story is good, especially the first season. It starts off very strong.
Hmm.
Season two is good. It's not better, but it is good. It's still solid. And season three, I think it gets a little better. And four, um, I thought four was going to be the last season, and lo and behold, it's not. But it was a good ride, right? It was. But and it is reminiscent of a lot of '80s
Yeah,
horror
and
movies
there's
like Fright Night and Goonies, and
and there's nothing wrong with
it
that.
does. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It does a good job of that. So so the story is fine. The problem I have with it is that once you got to season probably three, I guess, and
Hmm.
beyond, you started to see they're injecting, like I said, what we coin as woke, right? Introducing gay characters, and now they're implying one of the main characters is gay, and and I think this season he comes out as gay, I suppose, and it's kind of like, it's so tiring, It's like, why can't you just tell a great story and not inject things in it that don't need to be there? Like, there's literally no reason to go there, like at all. Then they introduce new characters that are come off as unlikable and pretentious. Like the little sister to I forgot the kid's name, the black kid. Like she was annoying. Like eventually you kind of started to like her a little bit, but in season four it was like, who is this? Was it three or four? I think it's three actually. It's like you, and at the end of the day, it's kind of like, why is she here? She's not needed. Like she's not a needed character. You know what I mean? Like it's just, yeah, you know. And there's other characters like that too. It just doesn't make any sense. Versus, why don't you just stick with your core group of characters from season one and just leave it at that? And then yeah, like no one really dies. Even though they're having all these crazy adventures, at least not in the core group, right? No one in the core group has died. Now, they
Okay,
introduced a new character, which was actually a pretty awesome character in season four, I think, and he gets killed. He gets killed off. So and they did that again in season two, I think, um, and he got killed off. So, and he was a great character. Actually, he was very likable. So it's like they give you characters you like and they kill them, and then they take the characters you grew to like and they change them in ways that make no sense to make you dislike them. So I don't know. That's what's frustrating about the series. And then season five seems to be doubling down on all that. So that's why I'm kind of checked out. Like the excitement is kind of fading anyway. Like it's like Cobra Kai, right? Cobra Kai, we had what, 5 seasons, 6 seasons, um,
I think it
and
was five. Yeah.
and maybe it's because I began watching it after it was already kind of done, right? It already reached up to 4 seasons when I started watching it,
All
and so
right.
and then the fifth season came not long after, right? Once I got to the fourth season, they dropped the fifth season, like the first half of the fifth season. So it wasn't a long wait, and then finally they finished it off, of course. So there wasn't a long wait in between, right? So I didn't get tired of it, or bored, or lose interest.
Yeah.
And it was a great run. It was a great series, and it had all those things in it. It had woke characters and ideology kind of fed in there, but it was done in such a subtle and creative way that A, you didn't care when you picked up on it, and B, sometimes you didn't pick up on it. You're just enjoying the story. And then you kind of reflect back and you're like, oh yeah, she said this or he said that. That was probably what that meant, right? Like, and that's how good it was. That's why I think it's why it did so well and why it was very well received and lasted as long as it did, because it was just very good, solid writing, right? And so Stranger Things, there is good writing. It's just I think they're not doing a good job with the subtlety dynamic. So,
Well, I
and
think with
like I said,
Cobra
they took too
Kai.
long to come out with the remaining seasons too.
Well, I think with Cobra Kai, I think one of the reasons why I enjoyed it was that um, it it didn't go out of its way to um, denigrate or uh, make light of the established characters and Johnny Lawrence, Danny, all that stuff, and it it acknowledged that. that they came from a different time, right? I mean, that was kind of the whole point, was that Johnny is stuck in the '80s, but
Yeah,
that's
that's exactly
he's
right.
also like the exact type of person that the town needed because of the way things were getting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, he wasn't just stuck in the '80s. He was immature, and he
well,
refused
that too, yeah,
to grow up. And because he failed to grow up and basically take on actual responsibility, and he was stuck. He seemed stuck in the '80s because that's where he was most comfortable, right?
yeah,
Where he felt alive, right, and youthful and all these things. But it was because he just refused to grow up and to be responsible and be accountable, right? And it wasn't until he decided to be responsible and accountable, and that was symbolized by him reopening Cobra Kai, right?
yeah,
Realizing, like, wait a minute, like, here's this kid, he's getting bullied at school, he's getting beat up, and all he needs is a little bit of guidance, needs someone to tell him, like, sometimes you can't resolve conflict with just words and feelings, right? Sometimes you do have to fight back and defend yourself.
yeah,
And from that, it's where he began to realize, like, okay, I have a purpose now, you know, and that grew and developed, and it wasn't always perfect, right? Like, yeah, Miguel managed to stand up for himself, but then it went too far, right?
yeah,
And he became kind of a bully himself, right? Like, you know what I mean? And he started to see that his mentality needed to grow up. You see, it was really about him growing up and being an adult that he was supposed to be, right? That he should have been all along, but he failed to do that, right? But
yeah,
because he was accountable, right? Because he saw the pattern with himself and then with his own son and with Miguel, right? Like, think about it. He went from being in this abusive home with a abusive stepfather and mother, right, to marrying a woman that was just like his mother, right? She was a gold digger, you know,
yeah,
and being disenfranchised from his own son, just like he was from his father,
yeah,
to gaining two sons and a,
yeah,
and a third child, right?
yeah,
Isn't that amazing? So he went from no children, right, to different disenfranchised to having a whole family, right? Built-in mother-in-law, all that good stuff, and right, it's like, and that's it's really a story about his character, right? Like, it really is. It's all about Johnny. It really is.
yeah,
Like, everyone else are side characters, including the Russo, right? They're all side
yeah.
characters.
That's
He's
true.
he's the main character in this story, and that comes to full fruition in season 5, right? That where you realize, yes, he's been the main character the entire time, you know, and it's actually quite beautiful. I love it. But that's the product of, like I said, good writing. People that respect the source material, right? They weren't afraid of the themes from the previous movies. You know, they didn't shy away from those themes. In fact, they built on those themes,
Yep.
right? And I think that's why the series, as lame as it appears to be, and it is lame, right? But we always think lame is bad. Lame is not bad, right? A lot of stuff, if we look back and we're honest, a lot of the shows we enjoyed as children or whatever, they're lame, right? Superman is lame, but lame is good, right? When it's done well, right? When it's done with the proper respect, with intelligence, um, and authenticity, right? Lame is a good thing, and we love it. We eat it up, right?
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to call it lame, but I understand what you mean,
Well, no,
though.
but you understand. We'll say it's well, yeah, lame. That's really it. Because lame means straight. Lame just means you're straight shooter, honest, above board. You know, courage, honesty, integrity. Don't lie. You know, those are all considered lame. We want edgy, right? Chaotic, right? We think that's cool, and it appears cool, right? But it only appears cool when it's juxtaposed with lame, with straight lace, right? Cool on its own just looks like chaos and nonsense. But when it's juxtaposed with straight and narrow, it looks edgy and fun. Do you understand?
Yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. Like, when you pair Superman and excuse me, with Lobo, right? Like in the animated series, right? Superman's the Boy Scout, right? He's straight laced. He's honest. He always does what's right. Then you give him someone like Lobo, who, you know, nefarious, sinister, manipulative, hot tempered, right, and just as strong as Superman. What do you get,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna get some chaos, right? But it's gonna be a fun kind of chaos because Superman is the straight man. You understand?
Yeah.
And it makes Superman look even more super, and it makes Lobo even look even more sinister. And what happens when Lobo ends up agreeing with Superman, right? Where he's like, you know what, you're right. You
Yeah.
understand? And that's what makes it fun. That's what makes us enjoy it and why we find it appealing, right? And when you can do that well, and that's what happens in Cobra Kai, right? Larusso is the straight man, and Johnny is he's the chaos, right? He's cool and all that, but he needs that direction. And Larusso brings that as the straight man, and it works, and that's why we enjoyed it, right? And so yeah, there's a way to do it where lame is fun, lame is cool. We crave it, and we should crave it, right? But we keep being told we really don't want it, right? But the reality is we do. We want it and we need it because it's the truth. That's what lame is. Lame is the truth. The chaos is the lies. And what happens is when you combine the truth and lies, the lies look great. They look fun and interesting. But in the story context, you want the lies to become true, right? You want the lies to be rejected and the liars to eventually admit the lie and acknowledge the truth. You get it? That's what makes a good story. That's what
Yeah.
makes us go, yeah. That's what makes us cheer. You understand? When the liars are proven to be liars, right? Because storytelling is about telling the truth. It really is. And when you tell lies as the truth, people pick up on it and they reject it. You know? So, so yeah. Stranger Things. I'm not too excited. I might check it out. I don't know. I'll let you know if I do. But
You seem to have a pretty bad track record with TV shows, Dad. First it was Lost, then it
I
was
know,
now it's
right?
Stranger
Well,
Things.
it's not my fault. It's not my fault they start off good. Listen, I still got Cobra Kai. That's 100. That's a 100 right there. So
That is true. Yeah.
so it's not a total.
Cobra Kai is probably the best TV show I've ever seen.
It is. It's
And
among the best
I'm a
TV
big
shows ever made. I really believe that. It's definitely up there. So top 10 for sure. And that's especially in the world of streaming, that's hard to come by. So without falling off, and they close it out pretty darn near perfectly. So yeah, that's a rare find. Unless you guys know of a series, whether it's Netflix or anywhere else, that started strong and ended strong, please tell me because I'd love to watch it. Right, I don't care what it is as long as it's good. Right, so because I would love to find shows like that. I think another one is one that I've discovered called Continuum that came out years ago. That started pretty good. And
I think you told me about that.
yeah, it's about time travel. It's very good. I'm a sucker for time travel stories. So no matter what it is, like I've watched the Time Traveler's Wife, like just because it has time travel in it.
Never heard of
It's
that.
supposed to be this romantic movie. But I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
it's time travel. Oh, I'll watch it. Like seriously, and it's a good movie. It is. Time Traveler's Wife is a good movie. But it's like it's time travel, so I'm gonna watch it. I like time travel. I don't know why. It's one of my favorite sort of sci-fi tropes, right? So
I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could do with it. So,
yeah, it is, and it's just fun to see how it's portrayed, like how it's each story kind of, you know, like Back to the Future, one of my favorites. Period. Like
oh yeah,
yeah, like one of the most, So as far as movies, perfect trilogy in my mind. So like we were talking about perfect trilogies the other day. Remember Kung Fu Panda and all that,
yeah,
and that's one of the perfect ones. Is Back to the Future. So, but yeah, let me know if you have a series that you think is perfect. But Continuum is one of them, and then Fringe. That's the other one. Now Fringe, it ended well. I'll put it that way. It ended well. They closed it out, because it's about 4 seasons, and you could tell by the fourth season, like they were trying to close it out, you know.
hmm
So I appreciate that they did, and that's J.J. Abrams too. So that's why Lost was so disappointing to me because I'm like, he did a good job with Friends. What happened with Lost? So
I don't know.
whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. You know.
Live and learn.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, I mean he did a great job with Lost up to that last season, right? I just felt like he was kind of just, you know, I don't want to get into it, but I felt like saying, bro, you know, why are you messing with us? Just like give us a real ending. You know, that's all. That's how I felt like. And there was so many stories that were just
With
left off
that,
in
the
the ending.
mystery box.
Whatever, man. Don't say this show. This show, man. It was the show itself was lost. I mean, that's really what the title was apropos, I suppose. But yeah,
Maybe
but
the
that's
real
all I
loss
have
was
for
the
today.
friends we made along the way.
I suppose so. Listen, it was a fun ride. I give him that. Give me a fun ride, so I can appreciate that. But that's all I have for today. You have anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We got 52 watching. I really appreciate you guys' time and attention. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming along with us and joining the conversation. And like I said, let us know in the comments what you think about anything. Agree, disagree, whatever. We appreciate it, and we'll try and address it in the next live stream. So, and check out our website, supergalacticfantastic.com. Sign up to our email list. Get a free 12-page full color digital comic. And yeah, support what we're doing. We plan on launching a new campaign next year sometime. And we're working on pages right now. We got a few pages done. And we took a pause for the holidays, and we're going to pick up again in January and get some more pages cranked out and polished off and done. And yeah, that's where we are right now. And we hope you had a great Merry Christmas. And I hope you also have a great Happy New Year for you out there. And I hope this holiday season has been a blessing to you. And I know the economy's tough right now for a lot of people. And we're all feeling it, really, no matter where you are. So I hope and pray that you all will endure and get through this, and that you'll be blessed, that whatever need you have will be met in the due time. So once again, thanks for your time and attention on today, and have a super galactic Saturday.
We'll see you around.